Life happens, yeah.
All right. How are we ready? Good to go. All right. Well, good evening. I'm hoping that we've got some good news and maybe not so good news. Good news is I'm hoping that this is our last press conference on this winter event. The not so good news is that we've got definitely 2 more nights of extremely cold temperatures. Jay is going to give us a report on that. But tonight, while it may be a little bit warmer than last night, it's still going to be a hard freeze night. We continue to urge citizens to go to virtuallouisiana.gov for information. If you're going to be on the roadway, as those roadways start to thaw throughout today, they will refreeze tonight. And so if you do have to be on the roadways, make sure to go extremely slow. Use a lot of caution. Just don't get in a hurry to go anywhere. Look, I want to thank the citizens of the state. They have been real good for heeding the local and state warnings. A lot of people have stayed off the road, and for that, I do appreciate it. Our biggest threat on that roadway now is going to be black ice, which not only can be dangerous, but it can be deadly. We want to ensure that we can get out of this event the next couple of days with a limited number of injuries. Unfortunately, we did have a fire in the state that claimed the life of 2 of our citizens. And because of that, I want to just go over some heating safeties. Again, I want to remind people, do not use your gas or electric stoves to heat your homes. They're not designed for that. Ensure that you have a working smoke detector and a carbon monoxide detector. So again, if you hadn't checked it, check it again, because again, we've got 2 more nights of extremely cold temperatures. Remember the symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning, including headache, dizziness, weakness, upset stomach, vomiting, confusion. If you or someone starts to exhibit that, make sure to get the fresh air. Space heaters. I know that many of our stores and hardware stores are out of space heaters, which means that a lot of people are using them to heat their homes. Make sure you place that space heater on the floor and away from curtains, walls, or furniture. Don't leave it unattended. Keep it away from water. Never, again, leave it unattended. So when you go to bed at night, just unplug it. Get an extra blanket, plug it back up when you get up in the morning, and you can monitor it. Additional tips is to make sure that you check on your neighbors, especially the elderly. As the roads, and Joe, after Jay, Joe Donahue will go next. And so if you're looking to travel, make sure you go to 511la.org. There you can find up-to-date information on what roads are open. The Get a Game Plan app is really the best single point reference to be able to get information both on power outages, road closures, those roads that are going to be open, and of course tips for keeping yourself safe. So again, look, everyone in the state has done a phenomenal job. I want to give a big shout out to all of the DOTD workers, and especially again the team from Arkansas that has come to help us to clear our roadways. They have been working 24/7, and they're doing an unbelievable job. If we can just get out of the next 24 hours, I think we're going to be fine. We want everyone to be safe. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Jay.
Well, thank you, Governor. And the numbers still coming in, but let's put this event in perspective. When we talk about snow for South Louisiana, this was the biggest snowstorm in more than 100 years. Get that bearing there, more than a lifetime in terms of duration. And how about those temperatures earlier this morning? 6 degrees in Lake Charles, 4 in Lafayette, 7 for the low in Baton Rouge. In terms of those temperatures, the coldest morning in more than 100 years. So you have these 2 unique events that come together. We've never seen anything like that before in the entire record for Louisiana. This is, or has been, the biggest, most significant winter storm event for South Louisiana we've ever seen. And while we're done with the precipitation, we're obviously, as the governor pointed out, not done with the freezing temperatures yet. In fact, tonight, many of you, even below the I-10-12 corridor, are going to see temperatures drop back down into the teens. So not just a hard freeze tonight, but another significant freeze that may set more records for tomorrow morning. And we've still got a hard freeze for many of you as we go from Thursday night into Friday morning. So as the governor points out, please still be prepared for these bitter cold temperatures, maybe even a freeze on Saturday morning as well for a number of you. So the freeze event, the temperature part of this storm system, isn't really over, although at least we're done with the snow. Now, don't be fooled by the fact that you've seen a lot of that snow dissipate during the day today. There are still pockets of snow on the roadways, and that's why we're asking you to be extra vigilant, extra careful if, and that's only if you absolutely have to get out on the roads. But folks, you've just experienced more than a lifetime kind of an event. And just keep in mind that the cold air, the bitter cold air, is still going to be with us for the next 2, if not 3 mornings.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Jay. First of all, I would just like to extend an extreme amount of thanks to DOTD's district personnel, our emergency operations personnel, and the team that Arkansas DOT has sent over to assist us in our efforts in something that we are particularly unfamiliar with. The good news is that all of our efforts and has resulted in a lot of progress. We do have a closure currently on a small portion of I-10 that is east of Lake Charles, which is expected to clear later this evening. And so we will have reestablished all of our primary designated routes. We have also begun proceeding and extending our treatment efforts outside of the priority routes in certain locations, and we will be progressing those efforts from the west to the east. So from the Texas state line to the Lafayette Basin Bridge, we anticipate that being reestablished by this evening. Of course, there is the opportunity for refreezing that will occur tonight and the next night. And so absolutely, it will be necessary to exercise caution. Tomorrow, we hope that we will have the Basin Bridge and the Baton Rouge Mississippi River Bridge, the new bridge, open at some point. It will not be likely until Friday that we are able to reestablish the Bonnet Carré Spillway and the twin spans in New Orleans. But I am happy to also report that as of right now, the Crescent City Connection is open, as well as the Luling Bridge, will be open tomorrow. And so given the chance of refreezing tonight, just ask that everyone be patient for a little longer. We are almost through this. There was a significant amount of melting that went on today, making travel much safer than it has been in the last couple of days, but it will still be dangerous, particularly during those periods of freezing temperature. And so, for a couple more days, just asking to exercise caution, particularly as those temperatures fall below freezing. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Colonel Robert Hodges, Superintendent, Louisiana State Police. As many area roadways and interstate systems remain closed and unsafe, we continue to urge our residents to avoid unnecessary travel. Troopers have continuously worked to keep our community safe throughout the extreme weather event. However, it's everyone's responsibility to prioritize safety. As of this afternoon, troopers have responded to over 100 weather-related calls for service and numerous crashes across the state. When travel conditions are unsafe, it places our motorists and first responders in danger and ties up valuable emergency response resources. As our major interstate systems begin to improve, motorists have unavoidable travel. They can utilize other routes outside of the interstate system. US 90 is an alternate route. And as you heard Secretary Joe Donahue talk about Interstate 10, there will be some areas that will remain closed. US 61 is also an alternate route, as well as US 190 in some areas. Continue to utilize the 511la.org for the latest road closures. Please stay weather aware by following our social media accounts for the latest road conditions and safety information throughout the state. In closing, I just want to tell everyone that, which has already been mentioned, we've remained cautious, we've remained respectful of the guidance, but I understand that once the snow dissipated and you're thinking about going somewhere that you don't need to go to just be patient with the first responders, with the DOTD staff. We're working as hard and as fast as we can to get the roads open so you, our residents and visitors, can travel the state and return back to normal. But the state offices are still closed tomorrow, and we ask that every motorist who does not have an emergency to limit your travel and enjoy this unprecedented and magical moment of both snow and winter weather at home. Please stay safe, stay warm, and stay home, Louisiana. Thank you.
Okay, so before we take any questions, two big takeaways for the citizens out there. Again, y'all have just done a great job of heeding the warnings that we've all put out. But two takeaways: as the sun goes down, remember those temperatures are going to drop and you're going to get into the freezing parts of the evening and the early morning hours. So we want you to stay off the road during those parts. As the temperatures rise again tomorrow and then again on Friday, and the roadways dry up and you start to travel, still try to use extreme caution as you're driving. Just think about it. Just go slow. We want everyone to go and come wherever they're going in a safe manner, and we want you to get back home safely. Two, during the evening, again, the biggest threat is fire. So we want you to stay warm, but we want you to be cautious about that. So if you're using open heating sources or space heaters, again, check out virtual.la.gov. You can go over the list of the things that I just warned you about and use those cautions, heed those cautions, and we'll get out of this event all safely. And so with that, I'll be happy to take any questions as they come up in the meetings.
All right, we'll start with users online. Please raise your hand and we'll get to you in the order that you post. All right, Megan Friedman.
Hi, Governor Landry. You mentioned that there were 2 people who died in a fire. Could you give any information on the cause of that and where it occurred?
Yeah, here's what I'm going to do. I just got that information from our state fire marshal. I'll make sure that he puts out whatever information he can make available to the press. I'll have his POI get back to y'all shortly. I got the text right before we stepped into this press conference, but we will be putting that information out to y'all as quickly as we can.
All right, Tyler Bridges.
Hi, Governor Landry. You had an extensive list of activities and things that you hope to get done for Louisiana this week in Washington, D.C., but you decided Monday to return. Do you have any regrets about your decision to return to Louisiana at all?
Absolutely not at all. Look, the safety of Louisiana citizens are my first and primary concern. I think, late Sunday night when we made that decision, Sharon and I came back and I was happy to be here. I'm glad that I came back. I think that it was important that I was here. It makes it a lot easier when you can work from this area and be able to have real-time interaction with the secretaries, especially either with Colonel Hodges or Secretary Donahue, all tied together here at GOSEP with our director, Jacques Thibodeau.
All right, Maria Vasquez.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Maria Vasquez of Denver Black News. I was wondering if they reported casualties because of the weather.
Can you repeat your question, please?
Yes, I was wondering if there been any casualties due to the weather.
Is it what?
Reported casualties due to the weather.
The number of casualties. Have we had any roadway casualties, Ron?
So
So with regard to vehicle crashes, we've had very minor injuries, no fatalities reported at this time.
Yeah, look, Maria, and I think that is due to all of the citizens of the state heeding the cautions and the warnings that we put out. And I believe if we can continue to heed those cautions and those warnings, hopefully we can get out of this event with minimum injuries. And certainly I would love to be able to say that we had no fatalities on the roadway as well. So again, that's why we're urging people, if you go out, to please go slow.
All right, I see no other hand raised on the call. For those that dialed in, as orderly as we can, we'll go to that. I have one question on Teams from Greg LaRose.
Yeah, thanks so much. This probably would be for Secretary Donahue with the OCD. Is the snowplow equipment from Arkansas up against the clock at all, or is that available as long as you need it?
So, my understanding is that they have committed at least through Friday. And so there is no clock. I'm in very close contact with Arkansas DOT Director Jared Wiley, who has been very gracious in offering both his personnel and his equipment, and has not indicated that there is any timeline or deadline for those operations to end.
Thank you.
Yeah, and again, I want to give a big shout out to Governor Sanders and her team. As Joe said earlier, they have been phenomenal. The assets that they were able to bring down here, I think, have really contributed to our ability to get our roadways open. We are making tremendous progress based upon the weather, but understanding that tonight is going to be another cold night, and then the following night, on Thursday night, will be cold again. Like Jay said, I would remind everyone again that this is unlike a hurricane. When it stops, our problems stop. But when the snow stopped, our problems really began. And so when we have back-to-back nights of very low temperatures, it creates a hazard on the roadway and in your home. So again, we want you to stay safe, stay warm, but heed our cautions.
All right, any questions from those that dialed in? All right.
All right. Well, I want to thank the press again for participating in this team's press conference. It really helps us to be able to get this information out to y'all in this manner without having to put y'all on the roadway in the face of danger. Again, I want to thank the citizens of the state for heeding our warnings and cautions. Again, I would urge them, as the sun goes down, stay off the roadway in the early morning hours as well. Try to limit your travel. As the day warms up, even if you are traveling, make sure that you proceed with caution. Thank you.